Hey guys, how are we doing? So today we are thinking shoulder health. Today we're going to be doing some stretching and rolling. Next week I'll take you through a very similar routine, but we'll be using a ball. So see if you can get your hands on a ball, tennis ball, dog ball, foam rolling ball, spiky ball, anything like that will do for next week. For this week, though, we are going to start off with your chest. Now, for this exercise, I'll show you two versions. They're exactly the same. It's just whichever works better for you. We want to be putting our elbow up at 90 degrees at the shoulder and 90 degrees at the elbow. And then we're going to stretch into the front of the chest. It feels like the front of the shoulder, but it's the kind of border between the arm and the chest. You can either do this on a table or a kind of fixed surface like this. So I'm pushing my shoulder into that table and I'm lifting my other shoulder up and away. Okay, so that's one option. Or you can do it on a wall, exactly the same, 90 degrees at the elbow, 90 degrees at the shoulder, pushing into the wall and turning away. I'm going to go for this option, but find which works best for you. So push in and hold, using our breath as always, so we breathe into it as we turn away, trying to get that breath to help us release. Nice long deep breath. You can relax between each breath if you want, or you can just go a little bit deeper each time you breathe out, whatever works better for you. Don't force it. This is a weak muscle. It's a shallow little muscle, so we don't want to be forcing it. We're just trying to coax it, as with all of our mobility work. Each time you breathe out, think, can you just release that tightness a little bit more? Lovely. Swap onto the other side. Arm up, elbow up, shoulder up, 90 degrees at each. And turning, pushing the shoulder into this side and turning away. And you might notice you're tighter on one side than the other. We all tend to be dominant on one hand, right-handed, left-handed. So it stands to reason that we're going to be tighter in some areas than others. If you're getting any pain down the outside of your shoulder, that's not what we're looking for here. That's probably referred pain coming from the shoulder joint. Try just slightly moving your position that you're in. We don't want to be feeling pain down the outside of the shoulder. We're trying to get a stretch into the front of the chest. Shoulder health is really important for us all, important particularly if we're swimmers. We obviously need that shoulder health. We need that good range of motion, and we need the stability at the shoulder to prevent us getting injured. So really important for us as swimmers, but important for us in everyday life. If we don't have mobile but then stable shoulders, we tend to pick up injuries. Injuries are horrible. They hurt. We don't like them. They get in the way of our training. So we want to make sure we keep that full range of motion, whatever we're doing. Okay, I'm just trying to set myself up. I cleverly moved this so that I had something to do the chest opening on, but I haven't got room for my shoulders. So the shoulder, this is the one where we do our full circle. So you need a bit of space around you here. If you don't have space, watch out for next week where we'll be doing it with your ball and you won't need the space. So I'm lying on my side, taking my arm out in front. First of all, I'm just going to carry on doing a chest opener. So this is an alternative or as well as the one we just did up against the wall or on the table. So I'm going to keep my hips facing forwards and I'm going to take this arm behind me and I'm trying to get the hand down to the ground behind me. And I normally struggle to get that hand down, but because I've just done the chest opener on the wall, it feels a lot easier. So you could be doing this one instead of the wall if you want to do two together on the floor. I'm keeping my hips facing forward so I can pin my front knee or pin my knees with my bottom hand as I lower that hand and shoulder down to the floor. So just a few breaths here. Each time I breathe out, trying to relax that top shoulder, let it drop down. Okay, from there, I'm going to go into my shoulder circle. So I need lots of space around me. I'm going to start on my side. You can put something in underneath your head if you want. I'm going to reach my arm out in front of me. I'm going to take it in a big circle up above my head, arms straight if I can, fingers down to the ground all the way if I can. My hips are moving. So I'm looking, my chest is up to the ceiling now. My hands coming down to the ground behind me, big circle all the way round. Brush my thighs, carry on round. So it's a 360-degree circle. The goal is for my arm to be straight and the fingers down to the ground the whole way. If you are too tight, then don't force it. So if the fingers need to come off the ground or the arm needs to straighten, that's fine. We work with what we've got and we aim to improve it. So on the next one, you're going to pause wherever it feels tight, and it's probably somewhere around the back here. Now, I'm normally very tight, but I've done lots of shoulder work already today, and I'm feeling like this is not a strain for me at all, which just shows, having done that work, how much benefit I'm getting from it. This is something we should be doing before we go swimming every time. So pausing wherever it feels tight, finishing off the circle. Going again and again, pausing wherever it feels tight. A few breaths there, see if you can move on around the circle a bit more. And we'll go once more on this side. So this is a lovely one for developing that full range of motion, relaxing, releasing the shoulders. Swap over onto the other side. So we'll start off with that chest opener. So lying on your side, pin the top knee with the bottom hand, top hand out in front of you, up towards the ceiling, down to the ground behind you. And can you keep your hips facing forwards whilst getting that hand down to the ground? Using your breath, nice long slow breath out. Each time you breathe out, lowering the shoulder down to the ground. Wherever you feel the tightness, just trying to use the breath to release it. Lovely, and then we go into our circles, so hand out in front of you, hand up above you, hand coming behind you, and I'm releasing. I don't need to keep my hips facing forward. My chest is looking up to the ceiling. Hand comes all the way round. Again, aiming for that straight arm if you can, aiming for fingers down to the ground if you can. Pause wherever feels tightest. Take a few breaths there, lengthening it through, and round we go. So this is a good one. If you're struggling with this exercise, you know it's something you need to do some more of. If it feels tight, then as I say, a really lovely one to do before swimming, probably while you're still at home, not on the changing room floor. We want to get that full range of motion through the shoulder before we then take it into the water with all the weight of the water there that we have to work through as we go. Lovely. And then you might want to do just another circle at the end there, just to check how it's compared from when you started off. So we've done our chest, we've done our shoulders. Now we're going to work into our traps, so kind of our upper shoulders, this tight bit here. When we're tense, we end up with our shoulders around our ears. So you're going to take your left hand behind your back, and you're going to keep it there as you take your right ear down to your right shoulder. And the idea of having the arm behind the back is that we don't want that shoulder to follow. So I'm trying to keep lowering my left elbow down towards the floor as my right ear comes down towards my right shoulder, and I'm getting a deep stretch through, feels like the side of my neck. Let's do 3 breaths here each time we breathe out, trying to release. And then nose down towards right knee. So now that stretches into the back of my neck, but also kind of round the back of my shoulder as well. 3 breaths. Same on to the other side. So right arm behind me, left ear down to left ear down to left shoulder. Make sure you keep that right elbow down low. Don't let it follow you. And then I've only got one nose down to left knee. Very complicated, all these parts of the body. Lovely. So we've loosened up our chest, we've loosened up our shoulders, we've loosened up our trapezius muscles, essentially the top of the shoulders. Hopefully all of that moves more freely now. Now, normally this session is about mobility, but we're just going to check in on our stability as well, because if we're really tight here and if we're so gunked up at the back, we can't really kind of feel anything there, we struggle to get the muscles at the back working, and those muscles at the back are essential for our posture. So we're just going to do a really simple exercise. Keep your elbows into your side, take your palms up to the ceiling, and then take the hands out to the side, so thumbs pointing back behind you, Just go back as far as is comfortable for you. Again, if you're getting any pain in the shoulder, just reduce the range of motion. Pushing those thumbs back behind you. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's go again. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Lovely. Hopefully as you do that, you can feel the muscles around the back of the shoulder blades working. I want you to try and do it now without having to do your hands. So rather than us being in our kind of common position like this, we're going to think about bringing the shoulder blades together and down, drawing them together and in. As we do that, let's think about our head as well. Normally our head's sort of stuck forwards. So if we look out of our eyes to behind us, so I'm trying to look behind me, right eye to the right and behind, left eye to the left and behind. And as you do that, you'll normally start to bring your head upright. So we want our earlobes to be above our shoulders rather than out in front. So let's put all that together. Earlobes above our shoulders. Imagine a helium balloon from the back of your head lengthening up, not your nose in the air, but the back of the head lengthening. And then think about the shoulder blades coming together and down. And just holding gently there, thinking about that posture. And that's something we want to come back to. So throughout the day, if you're sitting on a boring call or even not a boring call, you can do it whatever call you're on, just thinking about resetting that posture. The more time we spend here on our phones, on our computers, on our bikes, everything here, the more we get stuck in this position. So we want to be able to reset, but in order to reset, we also need to loosen things out as we've just done. So I hope that helps. Try and maybe set a reminder on your phone to buzz a few times a day just to reset that posture, thinking about the head as well. And let me know how you get on.